What is up, you guys? I mean, it's your boy El Camo getting back to you. You already know, with another video. Today, got my little girl with me because she just loves making noises, so she said she wanted to react. Anyway, I just want to say real quick, thanks to all the subscribers. I appreciate it. If you like the video, don't forget to drop a like, and also subscribe because it helps me know exactly what y'all like to see. And not only that, but I'm hoping on building this little girl a channel too. She's gonna be so rich when she gets older, hopefully. Anyway, the video we are going to be watching is why Japan is shrinking so fast. And let's just get straight into it.
And
right, bro?
powerful late-game civilizations.
Okay.
Home to nearly 126 million people, the Japanese economy is the third largest in the world after China and the United States, and correspondingly, Japan ranks third of all the world's countries in total number of assets and total amount of wealth. Japan further possesses one of the world's most powerful militaries, is one of the foremost leaders in the automotive, robotics, and electronics industries, while her culture is widely known and regarded across the world.
I'm probably wrong for saying this, but I swear Japan and China kind of was like in hand to hand together with like being the largest countries.
Massive and persistent problem that has been making the country weaker and weaker now for decades.
The food. It's the food. I knew it. Right? It's the food. It's the food.
Shrinking. Not in terms of land or territory, but in terms of people, which at first seems a little strange.
What's wrong with the people?
Japan is, after all, one of the most densely populated and urbanized countries on the planet. More than 90% of the population live in cities. And with a population of more than 38 million people, the Tokyo metro area is the largest metropolitan area on the planet. More people live inside of the greater Tokyo metro than all of Canada combined. And all in an area that's only a fraction of the size of England. But Japan's population, while massive and concentrated, is also the oldest in the entire world.
I know you're like, what?
Japan today is experiencing what's called a super aging society across the entire country that's unprecedented anywhere else in the world. Today, more than 1 out of 4 Japanese people are above the age of 65, which is approximately 36 million people, and is close to the entire population of either Greater Tokyo or Canada. This is the highest percentage of elderly people of any country in the world, and is substantially higher than most other places. For context, here's a list of other countries by elderly population, and Japan's is above
America not on there. You know damn well.
7%. But to be fair to Japan, a lot of this is simply due to the fact that the life expectancy rates within the country are literally unmatched anywhere else. As of today, the average Japanese person at birth is expected to live to the old age of 85 years, which is higher than any other country and substantially higher than any of those countries
higher than America
that I mentioned earlier.
Again,
Japan simply live longer lives than any other people in any other country in the world for a very
probably because they care about their health.
Decades of peace and prosperity following the Second World War, some of the most advanced medical technologies in the world, and dramatically improved nutrition are all heavily contributing factors. All of this has led to the somewhat unique situation of there being more than 2 million people in Japan who are older than 90, and more than 80,000 people who are older than 100, which is rather incredible because the Japanese people themselves only constitute about 1.6% of the entire worldwide human population. But of the humans alive today who are above 100, nearly 20% of them are all Japanese. In isolation, the incredibly long lives of people in a country is not a problem, and if anything, it's a huge sign of tremendous success because it shows that the country is healthy, peaceful, and prosperous enough to enable so many people to live so long. But when combined with Japan's other problem, it makes the aging and shrinking problem that the country is going through even worse. And that other problem is an incredibly low birth rate. Like every other industrialized country that made the transition from an agrarian society, Japan's birth rate exploded throughout the process and peaked in the 1920s, when Japanese women, on average, were having 5 children, which was dramatically increasing Japan's population. In 1945, immediately after the Second World War, Japan had finally just ended more than 8 years of continuous warfare against pretty much the entire rest of the world that saw the deaths of around 3 million Japanese, which was about 4% of their total pre-war population. At that point, point, Japanese women were still having 4 children on average, while the average life expectancy for
boy.
anyone born in Japan was only 52 years. A far cry from the 85 of
Calm
today.
down, I know
After
it's crazy,
1950,
I know.
Japan's birth rate began to take
God,
a
you gotta watch
nosedive
it,
to the
though.
point in the 1960s, Japanese women were only having 2 children on average, and in every single year after 1974, the average has been less than 2 children, meaning that Japan's births have been below the country's natural population replacement level for nearly half a century. In 2005, the Japanese fertility rate hit an all-time low when they sank to Japanese women having, on average, just 1.26
Excuse you.
children each. And it's barely recovered from there since even today, the average is just a tad over 1.4. All put together, this means that the Japanese population reached the
Man's
highest
like, why
that
you
it's ever
recording
been
me?
in 2008 at about 128 million people, and it's been continually shrinking ever since then. Today, Japan's population is
so hold on.
about
So they
1
are-
million people less than it was in 2008.
Calm down,
and it's
girl.
only
Can I get a
getting
chance to
worse.
talk?
If the demographic trends remain the exact same as they are today, then Japan's population will decrease by about a third to only 87 million people by the 2060s, and will only be the world's 22nd most populous nation then. So, the million-dollar question here is this: why are Japanese people having so few children? Well, there's a lot of
So,
factors,
is that
but
what
a
they
really
talking
big
about?
one is that young people in Japan are facing a lot of insecurity around the
My
home.
man's pants so
Nearly
tight, though. What the heck?
40% of the entire Japanese labor force today are
Girl.
irregular employees, which means that they're working only temporary part-time jobs or gigs, and they earn about 53% less money than workers their own age who work at more established
Calm
firms
down.
or businesses. To make matters even worse,
Calm
more than
down.
1 in 10 Japanese employees work over 60 hours a week. More than 9,000 Japanese
Okay,
companies have
so
employees
basically
working more
they're
than 80
shrinking because
hours
they're
of
not having
overtime
as
a
many kids as
month.
they used to have.
Most
Then.
employees don't even take half
So you
of
know
their
what they
allotted
shrinking.
annual paid leave time off, while 3 out of 10 women do not take
Talking
any
about
childcare
XBB.
leave. Many
Talking about
Japanese
you
men
and
and
me.
women simply feel overworked and are just too fatigued to bother with pursuing romantic relationships or families. Which brings us to the next problem: the very unusually high rates
Yeah,
of
they're working
virginity and
themselves.
abstinence. There was
Yo,
this study
speaking
that
of
was
that, you
conducted back
ever
in
heard,
2015.
right? I know I ain't even pause it, but you ever heard about that? What is it? They said like Japanese, Chinese, because I'm getting them kind of mixed up. They said they go to school for like, what, like 10 hours or something like that? Like, I don't know if that's a fact or not, but you can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. But that's insane, bro. I'm not going to lie. And then imagine like how much time they spend at work. Like, they probably have at least probably 2 hours to themselves, maybe an hour.
No heterosexual experiences of any kind. And then, even after the researchers adjusted their calculations
Ain't
to
all
account
about
for people
work.
who may have had any same-sex experiences,
Where,
they
where,
still
where?
found that 1 in 20 Japanese adults in their 30s reported absolutely
Stop
no
licking me.
sexual experience
Why'd I
of
lick
any
you?
kind. And the fact that Japan's population is shrinking by so much has caused a whole lot of unexpected and pretty interesting problems. Currently, for every 5 workers in Japan, there are 2 elderly people who are beyond retirement age, and in order to support them, Japan is expected to be spending 28% of their entire national income on social welfare by the middle of this decade in 2025. And it's inevitably just going to keep getting even worse. By 2060, that number is expected to be 4 elderly people in retirement for every 5 workers, and nearly 40% of the Japanese population by that point are expected to be seniors, which means that the government is going to have to be spending even more on healthcare and welfare.
I was gonna
But
say,
this
we
is
be
going
paying
to be
that
hard
bank.
to sustain because
That's in Social
as
Security if
Japan's
they got
elderly
that.
population increases, the costs required to support them obviously go up as well. But as the young population of workers continues to decrease, so too does Japan's tax base and income, which means that the government has no other choice but to continue borrowing more and more money. And this problem has already gotten severe enough that Japan's current debt is more than 13 trillion US dollars, which is more than 266% of the entire Japanese annual GDP, meaning that Japan is already by
Dang.
far the most indebted
Son.
developed country in the world. It also means that the
Dang,
government is closing
Sway.
down more and more schools for kids to the tune of about 400 every year, and
You
replacing
don't got
many
the
of them
answers.
instead with nursing homes for the elderly. And it also means that ever since 2014, there have been more adult diapers sold in Japan than baby diapers, since there are so many
Yeah, I was
elderly
gonna say, I
people
know they
and
making
fewer
bread,
youth.
like,
A modern phenomenon known as
shoot,
kagokushi
bro.
has been becoming more and more frequent, where every year thousands of isolated, lonely, elderly people die and go unnoticed for several days and, in some cases, even weeks.
Damn,
It's a
bro, that's
very
fucked up.
unique kind of modern tragedy.
Like, could
Now,
you imagine
the
that?
obvious answer to all of these
I couldn't
problems
even
that we
imagine
haven't
that.
discussed at all yet is immigration. Western European countries, along with the United States and Canada, have all pretty much solved their own plummeting birth rates and demographic crises by encouraging young, working-age people to immigrate from elsewhere.
I'll
But
tell you one
Japan
thing,
has
America probably
resisted
first
this
in having the
option
most
since pretty much
kids.
forever.
Shoot, if not
Currently,
them,
only
then
about
I know it's gotta be
2.3% of the Japanese
China.
population are immigrants,
One
which
of
is
them.
the lowest percentage of any developed country in the world.
Oh, where you
And
going?
in 2015, less than 10,000 applications for Japanese citizenship were even approved by the government. People just don't really move to Japan very often, and it's largely because, for centuries, Japanese civilization has been pretty opposed to it. After all, Japan is a bunch of isolated islands separated across the ocean from the rest of Asia, and across the centuries, Japanese rulers have taken advantage of that fact by completely banning all foreigners from even entering, as they did between the 17th and 19th centuries. Unlike
Damn,
other
it's like
developed
that, bro?
countries, Japan is basically an ethno-state and has simply never really had any history of immigration from abroad. And as a result, Japan is today the 6th least diverse country in the entire world.
I was gonna say,
with
bro, you
nearly
could tell they
98%
like, bro,
of the
don't even bring
population
none of that
being
over here.
ethnically
Like,
Japanese.
I
And
don't
there
want
are
no
fears
wife
and
who ain't
concerns
from
among
here,
many
don't
that
come
opening
here,
up the country to
basically.
large-scale immigration
Stay
from
your ass
abroad
over there,
will
I'm stay my
permanently
ass over
change
there.
Japan's unique culture and identity, but they may not have any other choice. A UN
But I ain't gonna
study
lie, I always
conducted
want to
in
go to Japan,
2000
man.
found
So it's
that in
like, why
order
they
for
gotta
the
be like
country to
that, though?
maintain its worker-to-retiree ratio, the country would either have to raise the retirement age of workers to 77 or allow a net immigration of 17 million workers by the year 2050. In reality, Japan's primary crisis
Better
in
start
the
doing that
21st century
77,
is
that's all I
what
can say.
decision to make in a binary choice. Either continue on with their downward trajectory the way things are and end up with a population of less than 100 million people by 2050, and with nearly 40% of the people remaining being over the age of 65, with all of the associated economic problems that will come with, or begin encouraging dramatically more immigration from abroad, with all of the associated social problems that'll come with. The choice is ultimately Japan's to make. The world is full of important choices. Some are massive in scale.
I can
and
tell they
determine
about
the
to
fate
wrap
of
it
an
up by how
entire
they started it.
civilization, like Japan's choice, while others determine the fate
So, like,
of an
look at that. That
individual,
joint look
like choosing
beautiful.
the correct razor to use when shaving, like this one. It's made out of solid metal.
If
and
you
it's
don't
manufactured
get your sponsor
at-
up out of
the
here,
Henson
bro, I
razor
know
is
my
integral
ass for all
part
of
of
that, man. Come
experience.
on
I use
now.
this exact like it's
Come
cutting more
on
than anything else.
now.
But the best part
Come
is, so
on
you're
now.
here,
Is the
genuine
video
ways to-
done?
It really is.
If you're done, you're done. Okay, you're done. Nah. Well, you can use this code if you want to, but obviously the video is over. Anyway. Yeah, man. I know the whole time I was kind of dancing and she was talking, she was reacting, I feel like, more than I was, wasn't you, boo? Yeah, man. This is your boy El Chapo. His little girl, little Irish soul, L-I-O. I don't even know. Hey, man, I guess we signing out, man. I'll see y'all later. I hope y'all liked the video. Don't forget to drop a like and to subscribe, man. And we'll see y'all later. Say bye, boo. Bye. Deuces, y'all. Y'all take it easy, okay?